We have to talk about the weather on the Camino because you're asking the wrong question. You're asking the question, what will the weather be like? And nobody knows. We can kind of guesstimate what it might be based on the season, but sometimes that is irrelevant. So I'm going to give you the right question to ask, but first I want to give you the scope of why we have to talk about it in this particular way. See, when you walk the Camino Frances, which is the route that I work on as a guide, if you walk the whole thing, you are going to be outside in the elements for anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. You're going to be going over 3 mountain ranges, walking 180 kilometers across a high plain and through all different kinds of microclimates. So the weather is never going to be like what they tell you. Just the way it goes. Let me give you a real life example from this year. So May 10th, my Camino Experience group started walking from Saint-Jean-Pied-du-Port. Day 1, gorgeous, up to Orison. Day 2, gorgeous, over the mountain to Roncesvalles, except for incredibly high winds and the temperature dropped. So everyone had super cold hands. And then the weather got really nice. It was lovely. And then 5 days later, the people who walked from Saint-Jean to Roncesvalles on May 15th had a snowstorm. I'm not kidding, 3 to 4 inches of white snow, not what we walked through. And then we got some rain, and then there was a heat wave. Okay, so then there was almost 2 weeks of heat wave on the Frances this year. So the temperatures, I guess the temperatures went up. I wasn't there anymore, I'd already left, but the temperatures had went up to into the high 80s and low 90s. Okay, that's really hot. And then yesterday, on June 2nd, I got a message from a couple of my pilgrims who were crossing the mountain with the Cruz de Ferro, and their temperatures were cold and rainy. Okay, so here's the question you have to ask. Not what will the weather be like, but how do I prepare for whatever weather I'm going to get? You have to have the right clothes. You have to have layers. You have to be adaptable, okay? So start asking the right question so you can be prepared. And then you take whatever you get because Mother Nature is in charge on this one. I'm Nancy. I'm a Camino guide. I lead groups of first-time pilgrims from Saint-Jean to Pamplona, and then my pilgrims continue on without me because they got it. By the time they get to Pamplona, they got their legs under them. They're doing great. They're feeling strong, and they have each other. In July, I'll be opening up registration for my 2027 groups. So hit the follow button if you want to learn more about that because I'll be sharing about it in the upcoming weeks.